So now let's see how we can export this animation as a video, how we can animate it. So here, as we have discussed in our last lessons, we have this render option. If I click on this render option, I will get this window here. The first thing is that image output format. What format you want to export your video as. You can click on it and it will show you, do you want a AVI footage, or you want your animation to be in a frames, and then in any editing software like Adobe Premiere, you can join them together. So it's totally up to you. Usually, it's always better to render out images. So in case if your computer crashes during the rendering, so you can start from where you stopped. But if you are using AVI, so you have to render from the beginning. Okay. But for this example, for this exercise, I will use video sequencer, AVI. No audio. I don't have any audio. I will keep it no audio here. Custom frame rate. It's like whatever I have, I will keep it as it is. So I will not choose custom. It will use the same as it is. Otherwise, what you can choose whatever you want. Okay, resolution, I want it to be full HD. Burn-in options, I don't want to use any burn-in options, and I basically don't know what does it do. So, but that's why I don't play with it. Okay, and all the other stuff, I don't usually play with it. Okay. Now, use compression. I don't want to use compression, but if you want, if you think your video will be too heavy, you can use a compression quality. You can reduce the compression quality from here. Otherwise, you can keep it as it is. Every other thing, you can keep it as it is here. And animation also, I will keep as it is because I want to animate the whole thing. Okay. But if you will see here, you have a custom options. Like suppose if I don't want to render from the beginning, I can render from whatever frame I want and end to whatever frame I want. So I can use these custom options. Apart from that, I have a warm-up frame count. Usually in Unreal Engine, whenever it's rendering, it's ideal to give it a warmer frame count. What it do is that it makes itself ready for rendering, and it can give you a better result because it loads shaders and all those things. So for that part, it needs a little time. So maybe I can give it like a 5 frame counts. Okay, so if you have a really good computer, so you can even increase it more. Okay, so delay before warm up, you can delay also. That can also make your animation look good. But for this exercise, I don't want any delays. So you can give a 3-second delays. Okay. You know what? Let's give 3 seconds delay to everything. Okay. Now, here in general output directory where you want the animation to be. So I can choose any directory here. I can go here and choose my video folder here, and then I can select folder. Okay. And I can start uh, this capture movie option from here. As soon as I will do that, it will start rendering my movie. So a, a pop-up window will be like you will see a pop-up window and it will show you the whole rendering option. And down here you will see capturing video, and you can stop if you want. Okay, I don't want to stop it. And as I told you before that I gave it a warm-up frame options. So it will just warm up in the beginning a little bit, and then it will start rendering the whole thing. So now you can see it is rendering, and you can see the rendering is going on. So I'm almost at the end of the rendering now, and the rendering is now done. So you can press here, open capture folder. Okay, and here is my AVI file, which I can double click and check inside the VLC player or whatever player you have it. So the file is quite big, huge. So that's why it's taking a little time to load. So now as I loaded it already, so now you can see it's running smooth, and you can see that how the animation is now there. Now this animation is out of the capture movie part. Now this is capture movie is not that ideal way of rendering it. The ideal way of rendering is through render queue, so that you can actually you can change its quality as well. So let's close this one and go to the settings option, go to the plugins, and here you have to search for render queue. So if once you will type here render queue, you will get an option of a movie render queue. So I can click on the movie render queue here and press restart. So my Unreal Engine will now restart. Okay, so now it is restarted. Let me go in the gaming mode here. So now if I will go back here in this render option, you will see that it's not giving me that capture option anymore. It's giving me a render sequence. Now, what if I want the capture? So I have to press this three dot button and it will give me render scene capture and the render queue. So render queue, what it do is that it gives you more control over the quality change. So if I will go in the movie render queue and press this render button, it will give me movie render queue. Now in the movie render queue, you have here the settings, the job. Okay, so I have only one sequence right now. I can have 2 or 3 more sequences, and all the sequences can will be added here, and then you can just press render local so that it will render on your computer. Otherwise, if you have a remote option, you can do that, but usually I use render local, and everything will be rendered one after one. So you can go outside, you can sleep or whatever you want to do, and your job will be done. Okay, so that's one good thing about it. You can turn off and on any of the sequence you want. Okay, other than that, we have the settings. Now in the settings, we have this unsaved config. You can save these settings as well. If I click on this, it will give me the settings here. Now, first thing first is the exports. Now, what I want in the export is to go in the export here. First of all, I don't want it to be JPEG sequence. I want it to be something else. Or maybe you can delete this. Go to this plus option, okay, and choose in the export the option you want. But we don't have here AVI, just like we have in video capture. And that doesn't matter because you can join the sequence of like file sequence in Adobe Premiere or any other application you want. So I will choose here PNG because this is the high quality render. You can also choose EXR, but EXR files are very, very huge. And I will choose PNG sequence. It will add here, and you can check the alpha or you can uncheck the alpha. What it will do is that if you have nothing outside, so it will just show a blank background and you can add your own background. It's totally up to you, but I don't want this, so I will just not write the alpha here. I will keep it as it is. Okay. Now, other than that, if you will go here in the plus settings, we have here anti-aliasing. What it will do is that it will change your quality of your render. Like if I will choose anti-aliasing here, I can change these settings here. Now, what I can do here is that, like suppose I want this spatial sample count, I will keep it 1 because usually I keep it 1. And the temporal sample count, I will increase it to 16. This will allow the jitteriness, the shake, you can say like the noise in your sequence. It will lower it down. It will make your render look very professional, very high quality. You can even go beyond 16. You can make it 64, but it comes with a cost. It's quite expensive if you're doing on a slow machine. So that means if you have a very high-end machine, you can change it to 16, like 64. So it's up to you here. Other settings, I usually don't change it. If you want to warm up the like the cuts, you can warm that up like just the way I told you in the samples. Now, if you have different camera cuts, you can warm up each camera cuts as well. Right now I have only one, but if you have three camera cuts, just like what we did in our first class, so you can do that here. So it will warm up every camera cut, but right now it will only warm up the current camera, and the warm up count is 32. You can lower it down as well if you want, but as I have only one camera, so I will keep it 32. So it's fine with me. Other than that, I have here output. I can go to the output and I can choose the quality of my render, the frames and everything, custom frame if you want, but I will keep everything as it is. But the output directory, from here, I can choose the output directory, click it here, okay, and then I can make a new folder here, and I can call this test underscore render, whatever you want to call this. I will just double click here. I'll go inside the test render and select the folder, and it will be selected. Now here I have this little error here. It says that this setting is configured in a way that may produce undesired results. So maybe what it says is that if the product of the temporal and spatial counts is 16, and the spatial is greater, so you will have predicted results or something like that. So what I can do here is that let's do one thing. Let's change this to 16 and this to 1. Let's see, what do we have? No, it's the same. So maybe I will change this to 32, or like keep it 16. And if, yeah, and basically if you're using your own like anti-aliasing settings, it's always better to override anti-aliasing, so you can choose your own, because if this is not turned on, it is using the temporal anti-aliasing, which is the default one. But if you want to use your own, you can override that. Now you can override, and here is the anti-aliasing methods if you want to choose of what you want. Like you by default it uses TAA, the temporal anti-aliasing. I don't want to use that. I want to use my own, which I have created here. So now everything is fine. I can press accept. Okay. And here it shows me it will be saved in this folder, and I will just press render local. So when you will press render local, a window will pop up just like this. And then you can notice that it shows render preview low quality, because preview is always in low quality. It shows you that it is now initializing. It will initialize. It will start rendering from 0. It will start rendering these frames. First, it will warm up. Okay, it will take a little time here. And now, as you can see, it is. This is my subsamples which I added, which was 16. It's subsampling. It's rendering, and it's very fast. You can see it's rendering very fast here. Okay, so once this is done, it will show you, it will be rendered inside the folder that we have decided. And here is the folder, and you can see that there are these sequences, that image that we have, like the image which we are, the video which we are rendering. So you can see that if I go to each one of this is actually the image preview. That's why you will see it is like kind of little blocky. It's not the image itself. It's just like because I'm loading this manually just to show you around. So this is how you can make a really good animation, like a basic animation from your render queue. So it will give you a very, very nice result. So I don't want to render all of it because I want to show you one more thing here. Let's close this one. Let's close this. Now you can save this as well, this option here. So from here you can go and you can save your own file. Okay, so you can save whatever you want. Press the save button and you can write whatever name you want. You can save this like I can say medium quality, and next time I can use for any other video this medium quality. Just like that, I also made a preset here, the render queue preset, which is basically if you click on it and you can choose the one that you have. And the one that I created is called high res render. So if I will go to the high res render, and why I call this high res, because there are some changes that I did. So I will show you those. First of all, you have to go here and this option. You have to change. I will change the folder here because I don't. I want the same folder which I did before. So I will choose the same folder here, the test render. Select this. And now if you will see why this is a high quality. First of all, these two things are this is the same. I usually don't change the like deferred rendering. In anti-aliasing, I changed it to 32. Okay. And then I added one more thing from the setting, which is basically known as console variables. So if you will go here, you will see there are console variables which you can add. Okay. Now, what is the console variables basically? The console variables, if you will go here, it will give you a blank console variable options. Okay. It like this window will be blank, this window will be blank. So you can add as many you want. Now, what are these? These are some settings which you can change from here. And I will just give all of these inside in the link in the description below. So as much you want, you can add these console variables. Okay. And when you're adding these console variables, you can add their values here. So I will put all this in the link in the description below, the console variables. Okay. And its values. So you can add the variable here, the value here. This will make the things more perfect, more high quality. Screen percentage, 200%. The screen percentage means the overall quality of your screens. And just like that, ambient occlusion denoiser, shutter denoiser, all these stuff I have added, and I have added their values. 0 means the highest one, or sometimes 0 means on, and like 0 means on or infinite. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just simply add them. So it might, when you add the console variable here, because I have already added here, so that so it won't show you me that option here as at this part, but you can add your own like console variables. It might not give you the options here, so you just have to press this add element button, and then it will give it to you. Okay. And when you're done with the whole thing, you can press accept. Same thing, press render local, and then it will start rendering it out. But this time it will be little slow. The reason is that because it's a high quality. So you can see that it's not running that fast anymore. It's running a little slow, but the result will be much, much better than before. So I hope it's clear to you how you can render out a basic low quality video, a medium quality video, and a high quality video. Now, don't worry about this screen showing black, because I have turned off the new media player from here so that it could render faster. Otherwise, you can turn it on so it will render that the screen animation as well.
If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do it now and don't forget to hit the bell icon. By the way, I have noticed that many of you are watching my videos without subscribing. So let's change that. Subscribe to my channel and be the part of the interactive community. Now, here's something really important I want to talk about. Please do not download my videos. Just watch them online. When you download them, it messes up my watch time hours. And that's a bummer. I want to keep creating awesome videos, but it's demotivating when I lose out on those stats. Thanks a bunch for your support. You guys rock. Catch you all in the next video.